High-stakes Senate races in Georgia. They are just 6 days away now. President Trump will hold a rally Monday night for Republicans David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler. On the same day, President-elect Biden will campaign for the two Democratic challengers. Peter Ducey is live for us in Marietta, Georgia, where Democratic candidate John Ossoff is speaking to reporters right now. Peter.
And you can see he's talking right there. We're just going to take a step or two back so that we don't step on everybody's audio. You mentioned that lawsuit. 4,000 votes could make a big difference in a state that in the presidential was only decided by 11,000 votes or so. And these are voters whose addresses on registrations did not match up with addresses on change of address forms at the post office. The Democratic lawyer who filed this says this on Twitter: Republicans tried to disenfranchise over 300,000 Georgia voters. This victory means 4,000 voters in two counties are protected. We continue to monitor how other Georgia counties respond to this suppression scheme. Where necessary, we will sue and we will win. But the family ties to Stacey Abrams, with the judge in this case, are very troubling to the Georgia Secretary of State, who says this: that a judge would rule on a case brought by a group heavily funded by her sister is very concerning. Stacey Abrams does lead a group that gave $2.5 million to a group associated with the plaintiffs in this case, and a fight is coming. The Republican Secretary of State added this is a direct attack on the rule of law and the integrity of elections in Georgia. And I will quiet down a little bit and take you in to Mr. Ossoff's gaggle, and we are going to try to get a question right after this answer. So stand by just a sec.
Because people need help now. Folks have credit cards maxed out, can't make rent payments, car payments, can't afford prescriptions, can't afford child care. People are in dire straits, and if Senators Perdue and Loeffler, who are in the majority in the U.S., and let's be clear, it's the majority that controls floor action and what comes up for a vote. If they are serious about $2,000 relief checks for the people, then they should put maximum pressure on Mitch McConnell to move that legislation immediately.
And Mr. Ossoff, we are really quickly, we are live on Fox right now. Thank you for the question. You talk in your stump speech that we just listened to about health and jobs and justice for all. Why not talk more about your experience, your relevant experience in being the best person to deliver on those things?
Well, look, I've made my career fighting injustice, exposing war crimes and corruption. I run a business that's exposed terrorism, that's exposed sexual slavery by ISIS, that's exposed judicial corruption. And right now we have a crisis of corruption in American politics. And since we're live on Fox, let me take this opportunity to address directly the Fox audience. We have two United States senators in Georgia who have blatantly used their offices to enrich themselves. This is beyond partisanship. And the reason, to your question, that I talk so much about health and jobs and justice for all the people is that we can unite behind that program. We've lost 9 rural hospitals in Georgia in 10 years. We can reopen them. We can invest in infrastructure to build jobs, revitalize our communities, create opportunity, raise the minimum wage so that people doing an honest week's work can not just survive, but can thrive. And yes, pass landmark civil rights and voting rights legislation to secure equal justice for all. And I humbly and respectfully request the support of everyone who is tuned in on Fox right now. And I'd love for you to log on to ElectJohn, electjon.com. That's electjon.com. Make a contribution to our efforts here in Georgia.
And one more quick one while we've got you. Any concern that the allegations of wrongdoing against Reverend Warnock could possibly be a drag on the Democratic ticket next week?
None whatsoever. Reverend Warnock addressed this issue a year ago. And here's the bottom line. Kelly Loeffler has been campaigning with a Klansman. Kelly Loeffler has been campaigning with a Klansman. And so she is stooping to these vicious personal attacks to distract from the fact that she's been campaigning with a former member of the Ku Klux Klan. I mean, we deserve better than that here in Georgia. And I want to encourage everybody to make a plan to vote on Tuesday. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Ossoff, very much. All right, and we will send it back to you guys in New York.
All right, Peter Ducey with the Ossoff campaign there. Peter, thank you.